And I really want to step up at the educational level in the Philippines by bringing awareness to how we can prioritize education, how we can encourage our children to go back to school despite the pandemic. I think there was always a part of me that wanted to go to the Philippines once I was allowed to. I moved, I packed my bags, and I never looked back. Yeah.
And I think that perhaps we should introduce
I think
one of
so.
the team members. Tita, can you tell us what is your role in the preparation of our Miss World Philippines?
J'adore le français, c'est ma première langue.
Oh, c'est ta première langue en fait. Ok.
Wow, you're really good. I was shocked. Wow.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks. And as you can see, today's video is going to be a very special one because we have a very special guest, Gwen Fourniol, who is our current Miss World Philippines. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing amazing. This is actually my first time meeting you in person and speaking to you.
Yes.
So welcome to the Philippines.
Thank you so much. I feel amazing here in the Philippines. I had an amazing experience so far. And I'm gonna tell you, gonna be honest with you, this is kind of a history moment here in my channel. You're making history because you are the first beauty queen from the Philippines that I am meeting face to face. This is also the first time that I'm having a face-to-face interview on the channel. So in a lot of ways, you have the first experience here on the channel.
So the pressure is high for me, I guess.
No, it's all good. This is gonna be fun conversation, very relaxed. So let's just enjoy it. Okay, so before we start getting into more like the interview questions, I just want kind of like refresh the memory of the viewers because it's been a few months since you were crowned Miss World Philippines. So for those of the viewers who are still getting to know you, can you give us a few fun facts about you, things that you would like for them to know?
So hello guys, I'm Gwen Fourniol. I'm 22 years old. I'm a Gemini. I'm half French and half Filipina. My mom is from Bacolod and my father actually is from Paris. So I moved to the Philippines when I was 18 as an independent girl, and I was teaching French. Actually, it's my hobby ever since.
That's amazing. And that's also something that I really like about you. This entire story with the mixed background, which makes you also like so interesting. Donc, tu parles français un petit peu, n'est-ce pas?
Oui, je parle français, Louise. J'adore le français, c'est ma première langue.
Oh, c'est ta première langue en fait. Ok.
Wow, you're really good. I was shocked. Wow.
Okay, because I live in Montreal, so in Montreal we speak French and English, but French is our first language back home. So, oh my God, that's amazing.
So you're multilingual. You can speak how many languages?
Oh well, I speak, well, let's see. Spanish is my first language, French, English, and a little bit of Mauritian Creole, and I'm working on my Tagalog.
Wow.
Diba?
So I think I can teach you some Tagalog.
Yes.
And some French if you ever need some help.
Yes, I will take your number and I will call you for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So Gwen, please tell us a little bit about you. I imagine that the entire experience of changing countries at such a young age must have been like a cultural shock in a way, right? So can you tell us how was that experience for you?
Well, I think I grew up every year going to the Philippines every summer with my mother. So I wouldn't say it was a culture shock.
Okay.
I was exposed to the Filipino culture and especially to my advocacy Erda Foundation. I'm very glad that I had the privilege to grow up in such a diverse environment thanks to my mother who taught me to be compassionate to others and to really share and give back to the community, especially the one in the Philippines.
Yes, absolutely. I can totally see where you're coming from. For me personally, coming to the Philippines, I was expecting that I would have such a cultural shock getting here. But in reality, I feel like with Cubans, we have so much in common that I just felt like right at home from the beginning.
Yeah, and did you feel right at home when you came to the Philippines?
Yes.
Like the people are so nice, so welcoming.
The best. Okay, I was sick for 2 days just because of the water, but besides that, it was really good.
It's worth it.
Yes. So, what was it about the Philippines? Of course, you had the heritage on your mom's side, but what was it about the Philippines that made you want to come and stay here?
I think there was always a part of me that wanted to go to the Philippines once I was allowed to. My mother is quite strict.
Yes.
My father lets me enjoy my freedom, my independence. So I really had to ask favors from them if I could really go to the Philippines by myself. And once they allowed me, I moved, I packed my bags, and I never looked back. Yeah. that's
Pretty
that's
much.
the story. Yeah.
What was their initial reaction when you brought this idea to them? Was it?
My mom was freaking out. She was freaking out so bad. My father was like, yeah, just let her explore, you know. She's half Filipina. Why not let her explore her culture, the other side of her?
Of course. But at the same time, I imagine that it must have been such a growing experience for you, you know? Coming here by yourself, immersing yourself in the country, in the culture, the people. And although, yes, you came to visit often, living permanently, it's a completely different experience, right?
I think moving from France to England to Philippines is such a huge step in my journey, but it allowed me to flourish and to adapt to my environment.
Yes, of course. And who would have thought, in a matter of 4 years, you managed not only to come to the Philippines and live in the country, but also to win one of the most important titles in terms of pageantry to represent the country internationally. Of course, the title of Miss World Philippines. Where did the interest for pageantry come from?
I was actually never really into pageants.
No?
No, I was not. I was always working with my advocacy Erda Foundation, which caters to the children and allowing them to go back to school and have basic education. So they really helped my mother with that. And because of Erda Foundation and Father Pierre Tritz, who is the founder, they gave her the opportunity to go back to school and have an education. So I've always had that instilled in my heart. And when I found out about Miss World, I wasn't very much aware of what Miss World is about. And I found out about the beauty with a purpose. And that really, sunk me in. It really grabbed my attention on how I could make a difference, especially with my background and my story.
Absolutely. I can definitely see that happening, especially once you get to know what pageants are all about. It's a really passionate subject. But I want to take you back a little bit and ask you about the days where you used to live in France. Because I think that overall, and this is the same thing in Canada where I live, the overall perception of what a pageant is not always the most positive. So at what moment do you feel like that started to shift with you, that perception?
I think when you really join a pageant, that's when you realize that it's not really just about looking glamorous, having amazing hair, looking perfect with the best skin. It's really the details of your journey, your preparation. What is your purpose to joining that pageant? What is your vision? What is your goal? And what are you trying to achieve? Because after pageantry, there's more to it.
Yeah.
It's like a life lesson for you. It's a life experience.
Yeah.
That's really what I learned about it.
I'm here saying yes to everything. It's my first time here.
I love your It's so cute.
So I imagine as well that having to decide which pageant you're going to compete at it's also a big decision, because not only you are in the Philippines, which is like a country that celebrates pageantry times 100 compared to the rest of the world, but you have so many different options. So you mentioned the advocacies, the video with a purpose, so that was a motivation for you to go towards Miss World. But did you ever consider other pageants before settling for Miss World, or?
No, I just jumped straight into Miss World. I think if you really know me, I joined in 2021, and after that I landed top 15, and I thought to myself, why not join again? Try it again. Because once I joined Miss World, I was really set on getting that crown because of the message, responsibility, and to be an ambassador for Miss World, that's a dream for me.
Yeah, of course. I want to talk about that previous Miss World Philippines experience that you had. Because very often, one of the things that I notice when I get to talk to girls who compete in different pageants, sometimes when they leave the pageant with not the results that they were expecting, they tend to be disappointed, or sometimes they might experience even depression. How did you feel after that initial 2021 stint at Miss World Philippines?
As my first pageant, I was quite devastated not having a crown. But then I really thought about the sisterhood and the experience that I made and the impact that I made on other people's lives. I think that really is the importance of pageantry, not really the crown, but the impact that you have on other people and the message that you left behind.
Yeah.
For me, it's a legacy to keep going, to keep moving forward and never give up.
Makes absolute sense. I love that. So I think that, of course, and I mean, top 15 for a first experience, first pageant, sana all.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's face it, okay?
I had no experience that time. I was really clueless to what pageants were about. I think you probably knew me that time, or you were like seeing, me in the background.
I was like beginning to get into pageantry back in the day? Because for me, it all started in 2020 with Rabia. Yeah, that's when I actually started discovering pageantry. So by that time, I was still like a pageant newbie, but I really saw you in full force during Miss World Philippines 2022.
I came back and I really wanted to upgrade my game.
And you did? I
Yeah.
mean, look at you now. So, talking about upgrading your game, may I ask you, from 2021 to 2022, when you decided to join once again, what was the evolution like? What was that process of preparation for you to say, okay, I did it one time, I made these things that I don't want to repeat or I want to improve on. How did you prepare for the second time?
I think my mindset was really different. I joined a second time with a different mindset, full of confidence, full of determination, because I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it for Erda Foundation, for the children, for the beneficiaries of Erda Foundation. I really had their image in my head every time I was competing, and they gave me strength and hope to just keep going because I'm doing this for them.
Exactly. I feel like when you're competing, if you have this type of motivation that you know that there's a group of people, you know, that you're representing, and also that you have a bigger purpose other than just, you know, going out there on stage and showing your beauty and what you're capable of, it adds another layer of meaning to your journey, right?
Yes.
I love that. For the second attempt at Miss World Philippines, it was very, very obvious that you were doing really well. So for certain of the challenges, you were excelling, and during the coronation night, you also won several special awards. Before the moment that they called your name and they crowned you as Miss World Philippines, did you ever had a doubt in your mind, or did you ever feel like it was gonna be you?
I was not expecting to be called that night. There was, beautiful girls around me, and there was Marie Gigante, there was Erica, and all my sisters, and we were all deserving of a crown. We all have a passion for what we're doing. We all have a purpose as exceptionally empowered Filipinas. I think we're all standing on that stage for a reason. So when they called out my name, it was like fate. It was like destiny. Because I joined for a second time for a reason. Because I really believe that it was my calling. It's my mission.
It was meant to happen.
Yes.
And also, I think that you did put in the work, not only in 2022, but also going through the entire experience of like 2021, the growth, putting the effort and all of those things to ultimately come out as a winner.
Yes, actually, if you compare my pictures from screening from my first stint to this year, you can see the difference. I don't look the same. So I think I like to tell myself that I'm improving day by day, month by month, and people haven't seen my full transformation yet.
But I think that's part of the beauty of beauty pageants, is that it's not just about being beautiful, in the beginning and staying like that all the time, but you're already beautiful, capable when you begin, but then you grow, like you become like this even better version of yourself.
Yes, that's why I think what people see on the internet, it's not the final picture of someone. They cannot judge someone on a picture of them on social media. They really have to see the full package of them inside out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. I know that's a topic that everyone wants to know, the evolution and everything that goes behind the scenes, but I think that you're an inspiration in that sense.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you about the driving force behind your will to become to be Miss World Philippines and everything that you're doing right now. And I have an anecdote that I want to share with our viewers. So back in the day when I was coming up with my topics for Miss World Philippines, I remember I had a file where I kept all of the names of the candidates, the rankings and the things, and my personal notes, and I also included their ages.
Okay, and I think I know where this is going.
Okay, so what happened here was that I got all the ages mixed. So for Gwen, the age that I had you was pretty much, you were only eligible for the teen category. But in my mind, she was like, I was telling myself she must be within the top 5 at least. So I wanted to absolutely put you there. I gave you the Miss Eco International Teen category.
Yes, I remember that.
And I remember clearly, you sent me a message on Instagram, very polite, very gentle, but you told me, Luis, thank you for this, but I am actually going for Miss World. And then I was freaking out because I was like, did I get the pics wrong, the age and all of that? But I really wanted to ask you because it takes a lot of confidence and believing in yourself to go up front to someone, especially to vloggers. Sometimes it can be quite intimidating, right? And tell them that stand your ground and be like, no, I am going for Miss World, not any other title. This is the one that I want.
I don't blame you for thinking I was a teen because I was like a baby back then. I had just coming out of my shell at the time,
Yeah.
and I felt like I wasn't assertive enough. So I think you misjudging me was like a lesson for me to really step up my game.
Yeah.
And if you saw me as a teen, I think there was a problem with what I was doing. Yeah, they used to call me the baby of pageantry, but I like to see myself evolving as a woman and to really standing my ground. So I'm really glad.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. But you know what? I will tell you guys something little behind the scenes. Coming here, meeting you, and of course talking to you prior to even starting to film this. She's an empowered woman. She is very eloquent. She's very nice, very gentle, and she is even more stunning in person than you can imagine.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
It's all true.
We have
Oh, yes, Paul. She's extremely tall. I'm surprised. What am I? 5'11" or 6? I don't know. It
Yeah,
depends
you're really
on the
tall.
day.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she's even my height. So I'm like,
Yeah, people think I'm really short. I'm not sure why.
Talaga.
Maybe it's with my posing. I need to practice on that, but I need to stretch every day. But I'm actually 5'8", guys. I'm not
she
petite.
is really tall, really stunning. I hope that everyone can see her in person one day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course. Now let's talk about. I wanted people to also get to know you more on a personal note because once the title holder wins the crown, everyone is like, "Oh, now she is Miss World Philippines." But then what?
Mhm.
Can you tell me what does the day in the life of Gwen look like at the moment?
Well, my life consists of so many things. I have singing lessons, I have pastorella training, I have Q&A, I will start personality training. So there's so much training going on to become a Miss World. It's not just looking good on stage, especially with Miss World, they love Q&A. They want someone who can speak. And I'm really working on my speaking levels. As someone who is multilingual, I have struggled translating from French
Yeah.
to English to Tagalog. I think you have the same problem
I have
as
the
well.
same problem.
You have like a Google Translate in your head, so you're translating from every single language, and I'm
Yeah.
really practicing on them.
But you're amazing. You're doing so well, honestly. And I think that also, it's funny that you mentioned all the things that you're preparing for. Because people think it's just about being beautiful or, knowing your pasarela, but there are so many different layers to complete the package of a beauty queen.
Yes.
And on top of that, there's also a lot of work towards your advocacy.
Of
and the
course,
projects,
yes, that's really like 80% of my time goes to my advocacy to Erda Foundation. Because without them, what am I doing Miss World for?
Right? Yes.
I'm showing to the world that I'm capable of helping others and using my voice to help those who don't have a voice, to really impact them. So I think it's giving back to my mother as well. I love my mother, and I'm really proud of how she helped me grow up as a woman to really take care of others.
Of course. Isn't she amazing? Oh my god. I
Thank
could listen to
you.
her all day.
We do have all day actually. We don't
Oh,
have.
let's do it. Gwen, one of the things that I wanted you to comment a little bit more, of course, I want you to expand on your platform, on your advocacy, your Beauty with a Purpose project.
Mhm.
So I know that you are focusing really on education and more precisely for the children.
Mhm.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the situation here in the Philippines, especially coming from someone, a foreigner? Like I just arrived here a week ago. I want to learn, I want to educate myself and know how can we make a change. So
In the Philippines, I think we're quite behind with our educational level, and I've seen that as a teacher with the children of Erda Foundation. Some cannot read, some cannot write, and I really want to step up the educational level in the Philippines by bringing awareness to how we can prioritize education, how we can encourage our children to go back to school despite the pandemic, despite going from online studying to face-to-face. And we've only recently gone back to face-to-face. So I think we have a lot of catching up to do. And I'm preparing something very exciting, a really exciting project, which I cannot mention yet because it's a secret.
it's a secret. But I'm really excited for everything that you're doing. And of course, I think that education is so important for for the children, because children are our future.
Exactly, and it actually starts from home. If you encourage your children from being a parent, you encourage them to go to school. I know a lot of Filipinos, they have, things to do like chores, they have responsibilities, but we need to understand that education leads to a door of opportunities, and without education, we don't have that foundation that we can build in. So with Erda Foundation, we focus on vocational ways of teaching as well, not just traditional ways, such as teaching them life lessons, how to cook, how to take care of their spending, because I know we love to spend our money.
Yes.
I'm really bad with money. I'm very kuripot. Do you know kuripot?
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, can you tell me what it means?
It's like when you spend easily the money.
No, it's
Oh.
not. It's the opposite.
Oh.
Yeah. Kuripot is when you don't spend your money. You're very cheap with your money. Yeah.
Oh, talaga. See, this is why I need to take Tagalog classes.
Yes, we can teach you that with Tita. We're here for that, free of charge.
Thank you so much. So Gwen, I wanted to ask you as well, because we always talk about advocacies and how the queens get involved in the communities, but I also think the viewers and the people who are receiving your message and also want to get involved. Let's say, like, if they also wanted to be part of the solution, if they wanted to encourage education, how can they be part of that?
You can go on my page on Instagram, and we have ways of donating old school supplies, even books, so that a child can read. They can have that access to supplies, to learning, because you can learn in so many different ways. It's not just the internet, it's talking to other people, researching and having books to read, being surrounded by things you can learn from, aspiring yourself to become greater than you are. And for a child to have those options and opportunities, I think that's the best you could give them.
Absolutely. I agree with you 200%. And I hope that everyone watching us right now also agrees and wants to support you. That's the most important.
There's also different ways of doing it, word of mouth. But I know for me, I really want to put things into action. That's why I'm really working hard on this new project. Because raising awareness only gets you so far. I really want to step up and be that ambassador for Erda, and to show to the world what we've been doing for the children.
Yes, because at some point we need actions as well. It's not just about, you gotta do the walk, right? It's not just talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk.
That's true. Actions speak louder than words.
She said it best. So it is safe to say that with your entire preparation and also your advocacy, you must be investing like 100% of your time, right? So you are completely focused on your preparation and the entire Miss World activities journey, right? Do you do it alone, or do you have a team of people who...
That's the nice thing about me. I have a wonderful team of people focusing on my BWAP, Beauty with a Purpose, my passerella, my creative team, my Q&A, and we have a secret. We have a secret person. I don't know how to mention it by being low-key, but she's really been helping me a lot. Planning things, organizing it, because I'm representing the Philippines, and that's not an easy job.
Definitely not an easy job. And I think that perhaps we should introduce one of the team members.
She's sitting in the background.
Please come, secret guest. This is a Louis Portelles exclusive. Okay. Here we go. I'm in the middle of beauty, everyone.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning.
Good evening.
I'm in my off-duty look, so don't look for the winged liner and the works.
Okay, so you need no introduction, but please, for those of us...
Sorry.
Yes.
Hi guys, I am Tita Lavinia of Titas of Pageantry and Tita Lavinia from the Tita Lavinia channel. There.
We love her, we know her, we appreciate her. Tita, can you tell us what is your role in the preparation of our Miss World Philippines?
I don't have a role by choice. No, I guess now would be a really good time to make the announcement, because I've been very hush-hush with this, but I am helping Gwen mostly with the written stuff. So if she needs like help with script or with eyes on social media, then I'm the person.
Absolutely.
I'm super, super grateful for Tita Lavinia's help. I was never expecting her to be on my team.
Team ba? I'm very fluid.
Fluid, yes. I really love her insight, because she's honest with me, and she tells me what to improve. She's not afraid to hurt my feelings, I guess.
Yes.
I really like that.
I will hurt you, Chuz.
Not physically. But yeah.
In
I
a very nurturing manner.
As if you guys been updated with our adventure, we recently been to the National Museum of the Philippines,
Yes.
and we're thinking of going to the Ayala Museum next.
So basically, my role with Gwen is to really connect her with her Filipino roots because I know the setup. I grew up with the setup of having nephews and nieces who are half Filipino, and they have a little bit of an idea on how it is to be Filipino. They would come here for summers every year as well, but I understand that sometimes they need something to anchor their connection with the Philippines. And in Gwen's case, it's not just a sash. So yeah, I played the tour guide. I played an impromptu history teacher. So just anything to help out Gwen be more Filipino, be more in touch with her Filipino roots.
Because I think that one of the things that we have seen as well over and over the years in pageantry is that sometimes some of the girls that have like a mixed background, sometimes some members of the audience might give them backlash because of that. They question how legitimate that heritage is, right? Did you ever get any of that?
Yes, actually, they would see me as someone who's French or grew up in England. They would misjudge me for who I am. But coming from two different backgrounds, I don't really choose where I'm from. It's really about exploring who I am, and as a proud Filipina and French, I think that's an advantage for me to bring that on stage, that I'm multicultural. I feel that I'm more open-minded having the experience to travel around the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're aiming for the crowd of Miss World. I mean,
yes,
very fitting.
True. And if I may, I would also just like to add that when you're trying to also get in touch with your roots and you're trying to mix all the other ethnicities you have on your DNA and you're representing a specific country, ever since being on board with what I've been doing for Gwen is just to make her feel that she does have the support. She's not going to be like called out just because she can't name the national hero or the presidents, but I made sure she knew.
Yes, so I think we're gonna have a test next week on
But the
historical
thing is,
facts.
you can't just like teach that. I mean, you can't just expect the girls to act as sponges. So you have to find like a common ground. Like what would be something that's memorable, let's say, with this historical figure. So when we went to the National Museum, of course I wanted her to get a feel of how it is to be Filipino and look at different aspects of being Filipino, from our paintings to our national heroes, national artists. But I really wanted her to get a feel so that she could get inspiration for, let's say, her wardrobe. Because ever since Catriona Gray, and I think we have to mention this, we have more of that Filipino stamp in everything that we do, from preparations with our national costumes to our everyday OOTDs when we send our girls there. So I'm glad that we were able to check out some exhibits with a lot of like clothes, a lot of paintings about the national costume during the different eras in the Philippines, from the 1800s until the 1960s. So I'm happy. I think Gwen got a lot of inspiration, which we hope will translate once she gets into the styling side of her preparation.
I was actually super inspired by our trip. So I'm very glad we did it. It's different from just going there and looking at things without knowing the context or background of a painting or a sculpture. With Tita Lavinia there, I was able to absorb, and it was like going through a story, walking through a storybook when she was telling me.
Because she has no choice. She just has to listen to me.
Listen to her voice.
Super enthusiastic about the type of lace or even jewelry, because in the Philippines we have a very specific way of doing jewelry in gold, and it's not just beadwork, it's gold.
There's history to that. And I feel like every single video, every single content that I have ever consumed from Tita, it's always a masterclass. So I wonder, you should get more recognition, I mean, for what you do.
How do you know all these facts, Tita?
She swallowed an encyclopedia.
No friends, Chuz. Well, yeah, solitary life, I suppose.
Diba? But I mean, you're amazing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And Gwen is ready for this. I mean, I just being in her presence, her aura is really stunning, and I feel like she's gonna make us proud, everyone.
I hope
Thank
so.
you.
And one of the things also that we're pushing for, especially now that I've opened the gates and trying to help out a queen and not just be like in the background, is to try and also help them be more independent. Because here in the Philippines, I guess we mentioned the system here, it's camp heavy. There are so many people involved. Sometimes our girls, they lose themselves in the vision of other people. So I've been arranging like trips for Gwen like this so that she can decide. I mean, she can decide her own people. She can decide on like the direction of how she wants to present herself, even while guiding her towards what Miss World is looking for. Because as an admin, as part of like that middleman thing in social media, it's easier to bridge the gap between the creatives and what the people who follow pageantry have in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's gonna be very, very important for Gwen to be in touch with the audience, to Gwen to be, to understand what people see in her, how they perceive her, right?
Yes, because I'm not just a face. I want people to know that I've experienced so much, and to share that experience with you, I hope it can impact you in some ways.
Absolutely. Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Tita, for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
I'm gonna go back to my place. Thank you so much.
I still have a few more questions for you, Gwen,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna take my spot. Let's make sure that we are in the good lighting here.
Yeah, light.
So, one of the things that we mentioned, right, we were talking about social media, and I think this is a very important topic. How do you handle pressure on social media more precisely? Because nowadays, everyone is a keyboard warrior, everyone can go on your page and comment whatever. And we have heard over and over that this is something that affects our girls in pageantry. How do you deal with that?
I used to be very sensitive to comments and people judging me for who I was, for how I looked, for bad pictures, because everyone has bad angles.
Yeah.
Of course, if you don't have the right lighting, the right makeup, the right styling, you can look bad on bad days, but that does not define who you are as a person. You cannot judge someone from a screen without knowing who they are as a person individually. So putting that message in my head, people can judge you, but that won't change who you are.
Yeah.
You're someone with a good heart.
Exactly.
So I don't really get affected by that anymore. And as a role model, not everyone will like me. And just knowing that I make a difference in someone's life, that's enough for me to keep going and not be affected by
course.
those comments.
Of course, and I think it's actually very important that you're so vulnerable enough to express it and put it out there. Because being a role model is not just about being strong all the time and showing people that you're capable of doing everything, but also
Yes.
showing them that you're also human and you can go through the same challenges and situations as them, and they find inspiration in those challenges as well, right? Especially, I think that being a national title holder it's a lot of pressure. But if you were ever to carry the international crown, that's going to be a whole other layer of pressure,
Yes.
right? So,
But I think I don't want people to see me as someone who's perfect, who has no flaws. I want someone to be relatable to me, someone who can relate to me and relate to the footsteps that I've walked and to the experience that I've been through. Because in that way, I want to be able to feel closer to an individual and to be able to carry that light from their darkness and to allow them to evolve as an individual. Because as an advocate of education, that's really my mission.
of course. Isn't she lovely, guys? Tell me one thing about you that very few people know, or maybe something that only the close people in your life know about you.
Like a weird fact, or
Weird fact or something that you don't put out there on social media.
people don't really know I can play violin, guitar, and piano. I'm really fond of music. I've been playing piano since I was 9 years old. So I love singing, I love music. It's really my passion.
And you mentioned that you also sing, right? Oh
So
my-
I am thinking of singing from my talent portion for Miss World. So that's why I'm taking singing lessons, guys.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. I know you're gonna do incredible. And I cannot believe you have so many talents. It's not just the beauty, guys, it's the talent.
The hidden talents, which of course I'm sure you have as well.
Well, I'm gonna stay conservative, guys. But overall, I want to go back a little bit to the preparation for Miss World and what is yet to come. Because I feel like the most exciting part is yet ahead of you. So when you think of some of the changes that have just been announced when it comes to the organization, a new co-owner, we have potential dates or months for the upcoming edition. How do you feel about the pageant?
The pageant, there's no confirmation yet, but I need to take every day, very productively and be ready because you never know, it could be tomorrow. So the fact that I'm representing the Philippines and I have the opportunity to represent the Philippines, I need to be ready at all times. That's why every day I'm staying busy. I'm making sure that I'm learning new things every day.
Yes, of course. And you can only give it your best, right? There's only so much that you can do and there's only so much that you can prepare for the moment. Just knowing that the clock is ticking and the date is gonna come, just give it your best.
And I'm enjoying the journey. I don't want to put so much pressure on myself because I know it's such a wonderful experience for me to have, to be able to represent the Philippines, URDA Foundation, education, and to make a difference in the lives of many.
Yeah, of course. When I think of Miss World, I think of purpose, and that's something that is really, at the core of the organization. But when I think of purpose, I also think this is something that changes over time, depending on the context and the society and the issues that might be happening in the world. So, according to you, your perception of things, what do you think is required this year for the winner of Miss World?
You can never know. For me, Julia Morley is such an astonishing woman. She has done so much for our world, to shape our world into a better place. And that diverse range of advocacies that she's shared to the world, it tells you that there's so much going on in the world, that we have a lot of fixing to do, we have a lot of solving to do. So you never know, because since there's like more than 120 candidates in Miss World, it's a competition, but it's also an experience for you to come together as a community despite our differences. And I hope that Julia Morley will see how capable I am, how determined I am to be the ambassador of Miss World.
Of course, she's gonna see it. She better see it.
Yes.
Just kidding. So I want you to take a moment, look at the camera, imagine that our viewers are right there, and please tell us, why should you be our next Miss World? But just keep in mind this, okay? This is a question that very often can be, pageant party, like a typical question. Think of you as a person, your journey, the things that you have experienced, and tell us, why should you get that chance to be the next title holder?
As a woman, as your Miss World Philippines, as a diplomat, a sister, a teacher, I believe I should be the next Miss World because it only takes one person, one voice to make a difference in this world. And with the environment that I'm in, with URDA Foundation by my side, knowing that we've helped around 1 million children only in the Philippines, imagine how much more impact we could do around the world. Knowing that I have the right support, knowing that I have the right mindset, I believe I am the next Miss World.
And I believe it too.
Thank you.
Of course. I think that is really important as well, just to wrap up the interview. Please let us know, where can we find you on social media? How can we support you on your journey to make things easier for you?
So you can follow me on my Instagram, Gwen Fourniol, or even the Miss World Philippines page on Facebook, Instagram, and we also have a YouTube, I think, and a Twitter. So just be updated with what we're doing. Keep sharing, keep spreading the word. And because I'm representing the Philippines, I need all the support that I can have.
Yes, so please everyone, go and support, or I will grab my tsinelas. You're gonna learn.
He knows it's tsinelas, tita.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
See, my Tagalog is not that bad after all.
Yes, improving day by day.
It's getting there. So, just before we wrap this up, I just want to say, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is my first time doing face-to-face, so it's a very special moment. I'm glad that it's you, that I get to share this experience with you. And coming into this, of course, we always have perceptions and preconceived notions of who the girls are, you had really exceeded my expectations, Gwen.
Thank
And
you
I mean
so
that from the bottom
much.
of my heart.
Thank
okay?
you. And I'm so
happy-
glad you're here.
Oh. I'm so happy that we did this. And please, everyone, go and support. You will see a lot more from Gwen in the upcoming weeks, the upcoming days, the upcoming months. And let's support her. Let's bring her.
And subscribe to Luis's YouTube channel, of course.
Oh.
Increase those followers. Give him Filipino love. I'm hoping to see mukbang of street food. Hoping Tita will bring you
Let's do it. Let's
to
do
places.
it.
I'm
And
picky with my food.
you can join us to the Ayala Museum.
Oh, yeah,
You could vlog.
absolutely.
Oh.
Let's plan.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm down.
let's do it.
So more content coming with Tita, Gwen, and Luis. Thank you guys for staying until the end, and we will see you soon with more content.
See
Okay?
you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.